can get it done. I mean, you think you got time on your roof. It looks like you might. But we live in Michigan. What exactly is normal weather? You've already had this conversation with everything you've talked about. Yeah, it's true. So we could get hit with one of these crazy storms again next week or something like that, and now you have issues and it starts leaking, and now you're out a lot more than 20 grand, aren't you? So the ideal situation, get it done sooner rather than later, correct?
Right.
Let me just make a call real quick. Hey, do we got this program we can maybe slip it into? I know last month they gave us 6 months, no interest, no payment. That would be prime plan right now for this customer. They're waiting for their taxes back, all of that stuff. You know, with the 6 months, I figured it out. It actually give us till November. They said they really only needed till September on it, but we can give them a couple extra months, give them that extra cushion. It'd be great. Anyway, maybe I can offer them that same program that expired at the end of last month, because this is a prime candidate for it. I hate to see them call us back and then have to pay the price increases. Not to mention, I mean, the roof does look like it could last 6 months, but you and I both know, Dave, that this weather here in Michigan, anything can happen tomorrow. So I was talking with them. They'd rather get it done sooner rather than later, but. Then you roll it out and say, okay, this is the deal. I can do 0 down. We can lock in the schedule. Your payments won't start till this. But you say you're waiting on taxes. Pay us all off, and you're not paying a penny of interest.
Penalty free.
Completely penalty free. Now you bring them into that program. But that's where, again, like listening and knowing what's going on. But if you don't have the commitments up front during the pitch, talking about the warranties, that they don't want those limited warranties and all of that stuff. And you got to remember to sprinkle in price aside. Because if they're thinking about, oh my gosh, this is going to be so expensive, they're not going to commit to you saying, oh, I love your platinum guarantee. They're thinking, how much is that guarantee going to cost me? Price aside, I understand, but price aside, what do you think of our guarantee? Price aside, would you want to settle for any company that was not offering anything close to this? No. But if you don't say price aside, they may be willing to settle because it's significantly cheaper. So you got to make sure you're asking those questions throughout the pitch. Get those commitments. Hammer them down now. Because once you throw that price out, you're not going to be able to go back and try to get these commitments later. They see that price, that's the last thing they want to see, and you're out the door. So that's why we have to front load everything in our presentation up front before we give that price. He did talk a little bit earlier about our demo percentages and stuff like that. What a demo, and I don't know if he went into all the details, but basically a demo is, at the end of the demo we give a price. Okay, that's what we consider a demo or our demonstration. We're not giving a price unless we go through our whole presentation. Okay? It's a no-no. We don't throw ballparks out. They want a number from you. That's all that they want. If you sit them down, they feel like they're going to be in a position where you're going to sell them. Okay? Which is what we are going to do. But think about this. If you guys came in and you were interviewing for this position. All right, you just came in and you brought us a business card. And you sat down with Joe and you flipped it to him and had your contact information on the front. And on the back had your written in desired salary. And you said, here you go, Joe, my contact information's on the front. Give me a call when you're ready to hire me. Okay? And then you come in, and you sit us down. You give us your resume. Go through everything, start to finish, with your references. We have an interview with you. You go over what you've done, what you haven't done. It's got all your contact information. And then at the very end, you say, hey, this is what I would need to make my living and everything else fine. Who's going to get the job? Why?
Presentation, yeah.
I know absolutely nothing about you, except your name, your telephone number, and how much it's going to cost me. Okay? But I have your references, I got your background, I got your experience, I got your contact information, and I got your price. Okay? When we go to a customer's house, we're there on a job interview. We're there to get hired or fired. What's the best thing? What's putting ourselves in the best position to get hired? Going in there like they want. So, hey man, what do you think? How much do you think this is going to run me? I don't know, maybe 10 grand. We'll put it on a card. I'll give you a call. I'll give you a couple more estimates. They got their number from you, but they don't know anything about you, the company, why they should hire you, any references, your background.
What separates us?
Nothing. Okay, we have absolutely no chance of earning that guy's business. And we know that up front. So don't throw a fucking ballpark. Our thing is we got to go into a job interview. That's what each one of our appointments are. It's a job interview. I'm either getting hired or fired. Okay, but I have to have an opportunity to present my resume to you. Just throwing you out a number, I'm done. I'm already lost.
Bye.
If they're not allowing you to sit them down at the kitchen table and to go through your presentation, walk. Get the fuck out of there. Don't waste your time. Don't humor them and give them the privilege of getting that number out of you. Once they do, they won. If you go through the program and everything else, and then give them that price, you're not going to close all of them. You might run into that same fucking hurdle and thing that you got up front. But you got a hell of a lot better chance now that they've seen everything. You know, you've had a chance to get them excited. You've had a chance to build that need. That guy who's just trying to get you that ballpark when you're sitting on the porch and everything else. He doesn't necessarily know he needs a roof. He goes, hey, in the next couple of years I do. But you need to get up in the attic, show him the pictures and the videos, get up on the roof, show him exactly what's going on. Not tell him, yeah, your roof is 15 years old, it's curling, it's blistering, you got problems. No, fuck no, watch my video. You tell me what's wrong with your roof. And now once they see the video, they have no doubt in their mind that they need a roof. Now their whole mindset has changed. They're just trying to get you to throw a ballpark number out at them. You know, and that's what's huge. We talked about trying to be the first guy in. Did you guys see any of the digital analysis? I know we kind of talked a little bit about it.
No, I didn't show them any. We gotta put a couple in place.
We had quite a few of us, Joe. Let's see what I can dig up. I know we're getting close to the end of the day here.
One thing you guys will notice, if I bust your chops quite often, it's because shit rolls downhill. I constantly am getting my chops busted by him. So I'm just
This is very true.
So I'm just diffracting.
This is your pipe. It's got a bunch of tar going around it. That's not proper. It needs to be rebooted.
And it wasn't even done right.
Front of your house. This part of your house has the architectural shingle on it that has the original roof on it. You can see how there are two different shingles. We got gray, we got green and red. That's the first layer.
All right.
And up here,
You guys get on roofs very often? Have you?
Yeah.
Okay. You see him kind of moving around with his camera and everything else. What just happened to you when you were looking at that video as he was moving?
What do you mean? What just happened?
Well, as you were watching it,
Oh, we
did
got
you, and he was swinging around.
Okay, I got dizzy as fuck.
got it.
Looking down, moving up, everything else. Okay, why haven't you guys been up on roofs? What about your homeowners? They could easily get up on a ladder, get up on the roof and inspect the roof to see if they have damage.
Right.
What are they afraid of?
The risk of injury?
Scary.
Oh, yeah.
You know, walking up on there, everything else, getting dizzy, and you'll see from the video and everything else. This is why, can you throw and fly a drone up there? Yeah, you can, and you can pinpoint some of that stuff. We want that GoPro on your fucking head, so when you go like this, the customer's going, whoa, holy shit. And they're feeling your pain, they're feeling it. See, we want to take them up on the roof with us, so we can basically, I mean, if we could bring them up on every roof with us and point out the damage, we'd fucking sell every single one of them. Because they can pinpoint and see what's going on. The problem is no one's going to get up on the roof. You know, 1 out of maybe 1,000 will get up there with you, or they want to. Okay, so we want to take them up on the roof so we can give them an inspection from the eyes of the inspector. And when we come back down, this is what we put onto our iPad, and we show what's going on with it. We show looking down,
one
coming up, and getting dizzy.
Under full house. The neighbor over there and over here has 6 or 7 vents. Over here, this is your ridge. This is not proper. As you can see, the wind can blow it up coming out of the east.
You can see that from the ground?
So you can get leaks right there. You have a hole right there going into your house. You have shingles missing over here. This is your ridge. Shingles missing. There's not a proper ridge vent over your cap. I'm sorry. Your satellite dish. Something's going on over here. You have open wood. Over here, that's
Fuck, I didn't know it was like that.
cracking around your steam pipe that uses it for leaks coming in. And finally, your ridge over here is open. Water is seeping down, going right to your roof. That's got to be reflashed.
See how steep that looks? That roof's only like this.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Not at all. But in the mind of the customer,
They're like,
emphasize
oh.
it.
It looks horrible.
Yeah, fucking,
They don't
I'm
wanna
busy
go up
right
there.
now, man. Okay, now you come down and you say, okay, I want to show you a quick video of what I, when I was up on your roof, what I saw. And you throw that on the iPad and the customer watches it. You think that she's going to turn around and say, I don't think I need a roof?
No.
Fuck no. And this is what we'll find on every single roof we go on to. And it's so important to take them up there. We've just eliminated a huge part of them feeling, do they need a roof or not? We do the same thing with siding. We do the same thing with windows. We'll break it all down and we'll check out what the gap is underneath. We'll take a temperature gun to the window and show that the window is 22 degrees and the inside wall is 70 degrees. And we'll put that on camera so they can see it. We get up in the attic, we'll do a black light test so you can see the mold and stuff that's going on there. Turn off the lights and see if you see any ventilation coming from the other areas that they open or not. You can see the mold and the black spots that are on the pieces. He lifted up the shingles. We actually have a moisture meter. Can I drop it? We have a moisture meter, so now underneath the shingle you lift up and you can get the actual moisture reading of what's underneath that shingle. So now well, no, I don't have any leaks and stuff. Well, you got moisture going underneath your shingle. Let me ask you, do you got 3 feet of felt, or do you got 15 pound felt, 30 pound, 90 pound, or synthetic underneath your shingles?
I have no idea.
You don't know. Do you have 3 feet of ice shield, 6 feet, 9 feet? Do you have any?
I have no idea.
So there's a lot of stuff that's unknown about your current roof. And all I know is from what we just saw that you get a lot of moisture going underneath your shingles. Are you just going to flip the dice or flip the coin and see what happens? Oh my gosh, what's this going to cost me? Well, let me get into that. But now you're not going to be battling the, I don't know if I need it type of thing. And you don't have to tell them that they need it. I don't have to be that fucking punk salesman trying to slam it and go, you need a roof that's 15 years old, man. Because you're trying to sell it to them. No, now they're sitting there. Exactly. Now they're coming back. Okay, now when we come back and we show that, do you think there's any doubt in the customer that Joe knows what he's doing?
No.
Not at all. He's established himself as the expert, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Just by the video he's taken. Okay, we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, but if you can establish yourself as the expert, think about this. You go to the doctors. You're not feeling good. Okay? Say, hey, man, I'm having some issues. I'm feeling like I got the flu or something like that. Okay, what does he do?
Prescribes you, or first he diagnoses you.
Okay, how does he do that?
Temperature, vitals.
He's looking in your ears, your eyes, your nose, your throat, taking your temperature, all of that stuff. Okay? Isn't that what we're doing when we're coming up and we're looking in the attic? We're looking on the roof.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking the moisture meter and checking out the vital signs, the temperature gun, all of that stuff. So we're diagnosing the problem. Your roof is fucking jacked, right? All right? We're showing them this. And then what does the doctor do after he takes a look at all that stuff? What does he do afterwards?
Prescribes you a cure.
Okay? So he writes you a prescription, right? And what do you do with that?
Take it to the pharmacy.
Okay? And then what?
Take the prescription. Follow the doctor's orders.
Right. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked at that prescription and Googled the stuff that he's given you?
I do because I'm a fucking weirdo.
Good. Good. Do you think most people do?
No.
No. They just do what they're told, right?
They may ask him the questions briefly, but...
How do you know if he's giving you rat poison or not?
Well, you're respecting the doctor and all his years of knowledge.
Bingo. Why? Because he's got a certificate on his wall?
Yeah.
He's done his research, right? He's established himself as the expert in his field. So when he prescribes something to you, you take his word that he's the expert and he's going to do the best thing for you. We've seen on the news and stuff recently and things where people prescribe it and they're like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? Okay, but no one does that. If you establish yourself as the expert, there's been a bunch of studies and research done that people will listen to you 80% of the time if they feel you're an expert in your field. With that video, do you think they think Joe's an expert?
Yeah.
So he can basically bullshit his way through anything and they're going to believe what he says. Not saying anything we're going to tell them is false. Okay, but if we can establish right up front that we're the expert and we know what we're doing, everything else 80% of the time they're going to listen to. So when we come back and have established ourselves as the expert, now go into the warranties and the differences with the loopholes and the limitations. Remember, we're the first guy that's out there. That's what we're gearing everything towards. They're going to believe everything we're telling them about the warranties, the guarantees, the loopholes, all of that shit. 80% of the time they're going to believe us because we've established ourselves as the expert. That's how important this stuff is up front without realizing it, because now it lays the groundwork for what's going to happen the rest of your pitch. We're the first guy out there. Okay? And that's the biggest thing. They don't have anything to compare it to. They don't know that, there's other companies out there can offer something similar, but it's not platinum. I mean, they have nothing to compare it to except what you tell them. Look, there's 20,000 roofing companies. There's only 17 of us in Michigan that are platinum. That means there's a lot of guys just going out there. With 20,000 companies out there, how do you think they all compete?
Cutthroat pricing.
They feel they can be the cheapest in town, they're going to get more business. Okay? Well, now you're planting that seed. Yeah, anybody, oh yeah, my neighbor got it done real cheap. Oh yeah, of course they all can. You know, I can hire guys off work release and everything right down the street too. Bring them in here, and the government will pay half their wages. That works for me. But that's not the kind of guys you want working on your house, is it?
No.
Okay? But again, you're planting these seeds. If you establish yourself as the expert, now when you tell them that these guys, they're going to be half of my cost, that's because they're skimping product, or they're using seconds, or they're not going to go with the ventilation that we're going to be going with. They're going to believe you 80% of the time because, again, you've established yourself as that expert. And that's why it's so important up front. Part of it is your dress, your appearance going into that customer's house.
That's huge.
You know, I mean, it's everything. It's the whole show coming up and going through. And I'm not saying you got to climb over every single fucking roof like a monkey and everything else. But, you know, on the small ones like that, that's powerful, man. At least get up on a ladder and go around the chimney flashings and stuff and do your videos that way. But yeah, I mean, get comfortable with it. It's practice. It's getting up on them where, you know, you feel like some of these guys got the cougar paws and shit like that, and they'll climb all over it and with everything. I mean, it takes time. I'm not real hip to getting up on the roofs myself, but it makes a huge impact. You know, and dressing up and pulling up, now all of a sudden your confidence level is bigger. The customer looks at you differently. Again, like you're the expert. You're someone successful. You know, I'm here as an investment. You know, you're investing $20,000 in your roof. You feel more comfortable investing $20,000 in a guy that looks like a banker and a successful guy, or somebody like Nick or Nate who came walking in here, or even Nick who came with his muscle shirt on and shit, and you know, like he's an installer or whatever. I mean, you got $20,000. Who are you more comfortable to put that money in? All of these little things. Not saying everybody is triggered that way, but if we can stack the deck in our favor, that's where we're going to hit the numbers that we're talking about. You know, every little percentage here, and if we can tweak it a little bit more in our favor, fuck yeah. You know, arriving on time, doing all that stuff. All of those little things help us to get in. As a company, we're demoing 72%, which means once we get that appointment, we're going to get into that kitchen table and do our full presentation 72% of the time. Okay, if you're not close to that, why? A lot of times too, you know, and that's where they just do that little pep talk. We're going with Eric. He's looking at his fucking lead. He Google Earths it. It's a fucking trailer, man. I can't make money in a trailer. They always want the cheapest shit. And he can start talking himself out of that. When he gets there, if there's a little, you know, hesitation or something in the customer, look, man, I don't know how long this is going to take. I got some appointments, like Joe had the other day. You know, he told you his story where the lady said, you know, I only got an hour or whatever. You know, that would be an easy out for, you know, like Eric, for instance, to walk in and go, oh, you only got an hour? Well, it's going to take me 2. And he's kind of throwing fuel into the fire because he's like, fuck, I don't want to be here anyways. I'm not going to waste my time for something cheap and this and that. And no, you're fucking yourself. You know, I mean, and that's the whole thing. You got to realize that you can't, if you're thinking about the close, when you're first getting there, you're done.
Yeah.
And, you know, before you walk out, it's real easy. You know, some of these guys will go to fucking, you know, Zillow or whatever to look up the cost of the house and what the estimated value is to see, you know, oh, this isn't going to be a platinum customer because they bought the house for $35,000 and there ain't no way they're going to, and they're already just talking themselves out of it. Fuck, I don't care, man. Give me a name and an address. That's all I need. I'll find a need. I'll find something to fucking sell them. I'll get them excited about it. I'll make them feel like this is the big, you know, it's the biggest investment. It really is. But you can talk yourself out of it, and it's just like, man, keep with the program. My goal, especially in the beginning, is allow me to come to your kitchen table to show you what I got. And if I go through a video like that and I sit them down, number one, they want to see my video, so they're allowing me into their house. And then once I show that video, it doesn't matter how much time they thought they had. They're sitting there going, holy fuck, my roof is jacked. Tell me more. How are you going to fix it, doctor?
Right.
How are you going to cure me? Because they see the problem. But when you first got there, you got to remember, too, what's going on is we knocked on the guy's door the day before, okay, set the appointment with the wife. The wife didn't say anything to the husband. He's battling rush hour traffic right now at 5 o'clock going on 696, fucking bumper to bumper, battling this shit. He just fucking hit the pothole, thought he fucking blew out his tire and shit, just gets home, fucking the kids are screaming, everything else. The minute he walks in the door, the wife starts bitching at him. Did you pick up the milk I told you? Oh, fuck, I forgot that. Well, shut the fuck up. You know, this is bullshit. The kids are screaming, and all of a sudden, hi, I'm from Rock. Here to sell your roof. What the fuck do you want? Oh, yeah, by the way, honey, we got a roofing guy coming up to give us a quote. We don't need a fucking roof. It's fine. Yeah, what's going on, bud? Hey, man, I ain't got time. My wife just told me. What do you think this is going to cost? And he's fucking attacking you, and you hear all the screaming and everything else, and you're going, oh, fuck, what am I walking into? Oh, hey, man, no problem. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt anything, but we had an estimate. Appointment to give you an estimate, to give you a free estimate on your roof. It's good for a year. No obligation on anything else. So tell me 3 things about your roof. Now we set back a little bit. Oh, sorry, man, it's been a rough day. And now he comes at you and gives you some information. Well, let me do this. Let me jump on the roof, take some measurements. I'm going to do a digital analysis. and I'll come back, show you a quick video of what I saw or didn't find and everything else, and then we'll go from there. Fair enough? Sure, man, no problem. Go back in the house, say hi to your kids, everything else, I'll give you a knock when I'm all done. Pressure's down, everything else, and you come in, at least he wants to see the video and see what's going on. He thinks he's got a couple years left on it, and you show him the video, he's like, wow, I didn't realize my roof was that bad. I'll tell you what, let me go to my car, I'm going to grab a couple samples, let me show you a couple different options we got available. I'll be in and out here real quick, just show you a couple different options, and I'll provide you a couple prices. They're all good for a year, okay? I'm not thinking about closing them, I'm thinking, hey, just let me present something to you. The price is good for a year. If I say, hey, we might be able to find something, and we got some great specials today, let me show you what we got going on, maybe we can move forward with this. It's pressure, right? The guy has no intentions of buying a roof. He had no intentions of you even coming out. Okay, man, no problem. Let me just show you a couple options. The price is good for a year, so at least if you decide to do something within the next year or so, you got my pricing to keep us in mind. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Sure. This guy's not trying to close me. All right, cool. Because they don't want to be closed. Now you sit them down and you go through your presentation and stuff like that, they don't realize they're closing themselves. But if you're battling it thinking, how am I going to close this fucking guy? This guy, he doesn't even want to give me the time of day and this and that. You're worried about, closing it and fucking go through your pitch. That's what it is. Then when you get to the close, you lay down the price and the guy's like, let's do it. Let's go with it. Honey, you like it? All right, let's go. We can afford that payment, right? Sure. And you're like, holy fuck, man, how did that happen? Really?
Really?
The guy's like, let's do it. And you're like, really? But guys, it's just, you can't get into the close, or if you're thinking about it, you just focus on getting in. Get to the kitchen table. Give me the opportunity to present my resume. That's the biggest thing. And then if you decide you don't want to hire me now or or in the future, that's up to. But at least I threw it all on the table. Yeah. I took a shot at it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Give me that opportunity. But when you get to that door and you hear the guy, hey man, you're my first estimate, I'm getting 17 quotes, I just filed for bankruptcy, I got no fucking money, and I don't even think I need a roof. You're smiling, what's going through your mind right now? Fuck, how am I going to close this guy? They told me I got a one-call closing, I'm supposed to walk out of this house with a fucking cash deposit right now, and this guy's telling me all this shit, he's just filing bankruptcy. Why, what the fuck, man, they don't confirm these appointments down? This is bullshit lead, man, what the fuck? I'm the new guy, they give me all the shitty ones. And that's what goes through your mind, and then you don't go through this part, or you skip the getting up on the roof, or you don't go through the survey, or one little thing, or whatever. No, fuck it. Go through it like clockwork, like normal, and next thing you know, that person, all of a sudden, their mindset. Why is he telling you all that shit up front? Right at the fucking door. You haven't even introduced yourself, and he comes out there fucking, yeah, by the way, bringing the belt up and shit. Why do you think he's telling you that?
Just wants you out of there.
He just wants you to hurry up, get the fuck out of there, and throw him a price on the back of a card. Which we already just talked about, as you know good.
No demo, no price.
Okay, he's afraid if you sit him down, you might sell him. How many times do you get somebody to test drive a car?
Honestly, we sell more cars without test drives than you fucking can even imagine, because it comes down to payment, that's all.
But if you get somebody in that fucking souped up BMW,
oh yeah, it's done.
It's a done fucking deal. Get them to test drive your car. The reason people don't want to jump in the car is because they fall in love with it. Like, oh shit, now they're fucking trapped.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want you to sit them down and go over stuff because they're afraid that you're going to sell them. If you can get through that barrier and keep the same energy, ain't no problem, man. I'm just here to give you a free quote that's good for a year. So if and when you decide to use our product, at least you have our price, you keep us in mind. Fair enough? And he's like, whew, this guy ain't going to close me. I already told him everything I'm not going to. Because they want to bring it up at the closing. Well, I told you I wasn't buying nothing today. I told you you were my first guy and I'm getting 17 quotes. They want to get that all up front. So therefore you're not let down at the end when they tell you that. Don't get let down up front. Just say, hey, no problem, man. I'm just here to give you a free quote. I'll be in and out of your hair before we know it, depending on the questions you got. I just want to show you what we got, show you some options, and I'll get you some pricing. Fair enough? Okay. Now he sits down and his guard's down. He doesn't think you're closing him, and he'll work with you during the pitch and get every fucking commitment. Then when you slide the price, it just made so much sense. You got the commitments. He's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And you're like, huh? I thought you went bankrupt. And yeah, but my dad just died and I inherited a bunch of money.
Yeah.
He goes in the back, goes into a fucking shoebox and counts out fucking 20s, $5,000 in 20s. You're going, what the fuck? No, meet me at the bank, man. I don't want to ride around with this shit in my car. But it's amazing. And those people that you think fucking, they got no money, nothing like that, those are the people that buy. They give you all that resistance up front. And once you get it down, hey, I'm just here to give you a free quote. I just want to get you your kitchen table. Let me present you what I got. And it's so subtle and pressure-free that their guard comes down and they're open and receptive to what you have to present to them.
Yeah.
If their guard's up the whole time thinking you're going to try to close them, every question you ask them about the guarantee, and I don't know. That's why you're here, and that's not what I did with my reason. And then they're fighting you the whole way. No, I'm not trying to close you. Look, the last thing I'm going to do is ask you to buy. And the very fucking last thing I'm going to ask them before I leave is, can I go to work for you? I'm going to ask them to fucking buy. So I'm not lying there either.
Yeah.
But that's the last thing. And that's where our mindset sometimes we jump ahead, put the cart in front of the horse, because we start thinking about how are we going to close this fucker. This is going to be a tough close. This is going to be, fuck, no, I'm not worried about the close. I'm just worried about getting to the kitchen table. And me having you go up and give me a glass of water when I ask you for it. I'm in control. I'm going to dictate everything. But I got to get you to the kitchen table and have you, again, have you open-minded to it all. If you're fucking like this, thinking I'm going to come at you battling, it's tough. And a lot of what we do is to get that guard down. Start joking around with them, to warm up and handing them stuff, get them to open up and get them talking about themselves. People start opening up and get more comfortable. The easiest thing to do is get them talking about what they know, their selves, their family, their house. Instead of you talking about everything and stuff, no, ask them. Man, I noticed a bunch of old school pictures of cars and stuff on your walls and stuff. You a big car guy? Let them fucking go into it. And don't try to lie about it, pretend you know a bunch of shit. Hey man, I'm not a real big car guy, but I see that you really love this shit, man. Which one of these is your pride and joy? Let him fucking go into a half-hour tangent about it and loosen up. Now he's comfortable with you just because he started talking. And it's not you doing the talking. Let him. Now you can sit him down and you can go through and open up to everything and start getting through these questions. And he's going to be like, yeah, no, I wouldn't want to do that. Now because he's used to himself talking in front of you and comfortable, he'll tell you the stories. Where he had a landscaper and he got multiple estimates and he got fucked over on this one, or that's why he's hesitant about doing. Let him relive that, but pay attention to what they're saying too, so you can learn from it. And that's where you build up in your pitch and your close of what we're going to do differently. So at the end of the day, you felt you got ripped off because you gave this guy this huge deposit and he never came back to do the work, and it was very shoddy at that end. Well, now I'm going to sit there and say, look, man, once we put this on the order, okay, we'll just get you pre-approved the financing, nothing down. So therefore, when the job is completely done and you're 100% happy, then you can pay us that full amount, or you can use the loan. But the bottom line, keep your money, your deposit in your bank account. That's the power you have. Okay, I don't need your money to go buy the materials for this. We'll do it on our dollar. And trust me, if I'm doing a $20,000 roof job on our dollar without getting a single penny from you, we're bending over backwards to make sure you're happy so we can pay for the materials and the crew that just did it.
Right.
And until you are happy, you haven't paid a single fucking penny. That's the power you have. Now you've taken that whole negative situation that he had experienced in the past because he gave a deposit, got ripped off, okay, one way or another, had to battle for it. If we're doing a $20,000 roof on our dollar, trust me. And you're throwing that out there, and the guy's going, yeah, you're right. I mean, again, I can give you 1,000 references, okay? And 999 of them are satisfied and happy as hell, right? You'd say that's pretty good, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Not if you're the one. You really care about those other 999 if the one job I fuck over is yours?
Right.
The best reference I can give you is your own job, right? So let me do this job on my money, and then when you're happy and you have a positive reference, then pay me. How does that sound?
Right.
Hassle-free, no pressure, okay? But it's, again, listening to what they're saying, getting that story out of them and find out what is their hesitation. How did they get fucked over in the past? Yeah, I went with the one guy. I didn't get quotes. I went against my best judgment, and I went with the first guy that came out here. You did, huh? What happened? Get him to tell that story, and you can learn why he's hesitant. It's not that he won't make a decision on the first night. Okay, he's afraid of getting ripped off because he did that one time. And he didn't do his due diligence to find out what was going on with that company. Okay, you're providing that due diligence for him right then and there. The only thing he can be afraid of is losing his deposit. And when you put it into that terms, how could he fucking tell you no? It's very difficult. I'm not saying it'll work on everyone, but I'm going to stack that deck in my favor every time. To make it work.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to battle them. That's the whole thing. You don't have to pressure these people at the end. They're pressuring themselves. They see a good deal when it's in front of them. You just give them a little push. Or a big push sometimes. So it's all good shit, man. But again, you can see where it's kind of going. I know you guys are tipping the iceberg right now. But, I was just overhearing some of what you guys were going through. Fucking day one, man, you guys are doing good. I mean, you're picking up the material quick and studying it. The quicker you do, the quicker we can move the whole process along and all that stuff. But there's a lot of intricate stuff, and when he's going through it, take your notes, ask the questions. Why are we using the survey, and why does this all come into play, and what is the digital analysis and stuff? It's all gonna start coming together, but all of these little pieces, you know, the 4 pricing is huge. You mentioned a couple things of what you liked about it already and stuff, but psychologically where it puts that customer of the low end, the high end, everything in the middle, with our price points of moving from one package to another, that's huge. They got to see the different things. The survey, it's a huge closing tool later. It sets them up to start thinking about what their project is going on. They really haven't. You caught the guy off guard. He didn't even know you had a roofing estimate. And now he's starting to think about the roofing process and go, oh, actually, what is important to me on my roof? I never even thought of it. That's all we're trying to do. Get the ball turning, the wheels turning in their head to kind of figure it out, and then we'll put all the pieces together. You know, not saying that survey wouldn't, or you could close without that survey, but you don't know where the wife's at versus the husband and what kind of learner that person is. Sometimes they have to physically see it like we talked about. Write down, and now they're committing to it in writing. They'll verbally tell you that. And then you'll show them different things, the videos and stuff like that. So it all has meaning into it, and there's a lot involved in it. That's why we want to record it, so you guys can go back and study the different steps and realize what it's all about, because you're not going to take it all in the two weeks. I mean, we've already talked about that. Every day is an ongoing process. But after the 2 weeks, you're going to be prepped and have the ammo to go out there and sell and still make some money. You know, and then it's perfecting the craft.